Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node. Welcome to your reading. This will be a 2022 overview reading for your sign. So if you have Aquarius as any of those placements, this is the right place for you. We'll get started today, Aquarius, by pulling a card that will signify the theme for this year for you. After that, we'll do a 9-card spread, we'll get some additional information, and we'll close out with a major arcana. Before we begin, I want to transmit some channel messages to you for 2022. First of all, for air signs, I'm feeling for your crowd some key words, key phrases. I'm just the messenger. Airy, fairy, intellectual, also recognized and capable. So those 3 things is what came through for you all. Also, a message that came through collectively for all of us is that Pluto will be a big influence this year in 2022. So do take care to work with that energy in whatever way you see fit. Do the research that you're interested and comfortable with if you'd like to work with Pluto. If you're here, you're probably part of that collective that does a lot of healing, transformational work. And it's just a little heads up tip that this year would be a very, very powerful time to do it. Okay, Aquarius, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll show you the theme card that we got for you today. Your theme for the year is courage. I'll show you that card a little bit closer up. Courage. It feels so appropriate for you, Aquarius, because what I feel intuitively with this card, it might be difficult to see, but over top of this cliffside, which signifies, the strength of these ocean rocks, over top of that is interposed this map, this cartography sort of illustration. And what I feel specifically with that is, one, astrocartography. This card often reminds me of that. And so that's the idea that astrologically, based on the time that we were born, there are locations that suit us for different reasons or don't suit us for similar reasons. And perhaps you're looking into that this year, Aquarius, and it could require courage to make the move to one of these new locations. So I'm getting that there could be courage around that. Also, bigger picture even, with that map, I feel you, Aquarius, mapping out something higher, seeing the big picture, which you are, of course, so skilled at doing, and mapping it out for others. That's what it is. It's seeing the big picture and mapping it out for others, because not everyone is so gifted as you in that way. And so maybe some of your work has to do with that, literally mapping it out for others to share your perspective and translate it into a way that the rest of the public can understand. So I'm going to go ahead and read this passage to you to get you some additional messages from the guidebook. Step forward, throw your shoulders back, and stand up for yourself with passion. Speak up for those less fortunate. Be impeccable in all your actions. This isn't the time to be timid and pull back. Don't be limited by the beliefs of others. Use your passion to make a difference. Courage doesn't mean that you aren't afraid. Fearless means fear less. Acknowledge your fear and take action anyway. Make a stand. You are strong and powerful and have great valor within you. Okay, Aquarius, that's such an apt message for you. And I think that's a delightful theme for 2022. We might come back to that card later on in the spread. So at this point, I'm going to do a 9-card spread for you. We'll work with these cards intuitively just to see what's coming up, what energies you're working with, which energies you're moving through, and maybe what you can expect. This will probably not be in any linear fashion, just for those obsessed with linear time. I think of time as a spiral personally. You move through it and sometimes you come back to the same point, but it's at a different point in the plane, if that makes sense. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, 2022. Princess of Swords, Ace of Wands. I'm feeling a lot of work energy already. I'm talking work like vocation, not work as in occupation. Is that the right differentiation? I can never remember. Right. Lots of us have jobs. Lots of us also have passions. And those two things aren't always the same, although they can be. Right. So my point being, it's whatever the work it is you do on your passion. Five of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, some loss energy coming through in terms of this work. Specifically, just quickly, I'm feeling a mourning of a former job. Mourning is in mourning. Mourning a loss of a former occupation. And I think I'm feeling someone at a post office, okay? But I think it's so that you can pursue your dreams. But I feel very sad. There's a sadness. You miss something about it. It's really sweet. Oh gosh, I just want to say, please do go back and like interact with your regular customers or whatever it is. They'll be so happy to see you and hear from you. Or like ask the new postmaster, just an example, if you can like post your business card or a little flyer, on the billboard inside your local space. I could cry, really. I can feel how sad you are. But everyone's going to be so happy for you. Six of Cups. Yeah, there's that like nostalgic feeling. Strength. I'm having so much fun doing your reading, Aquarius. The Wheel of Fortune. I feel really connected to you today. All right, the Knight of Swords and the Sun. Wow, what sort of sector are you moving through in this Knight of Swords energy? We'll see. Give me just a moment. Excuse me, Aquarius, my nose itches when I channel. With this Knight of Swords, I'm getting that phrase, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. Something like that, because this horse in this image is kind of, looks trepidatious. It doesn't really want to move forward with that knight. Maybe it knows the knight is headed towards danger or recklessness, or sometimes horses just get spooked, They don't always do what we want them to. That's a horse. But metaphorically, what I feel is that this horse senses some sort of danger, and yet the rider is pushing ahead. What's interesting, though, is that I don't feel at all that this is a warning. If so, take caution, heed this message, but that's not what I'm feeling at all. What I'm feeling is damn the torpedoes. It's just moving right along. Fuck the rest. It's that kind of energy, and I mean, that is very Aquarian, right? I'm being drawn to this Wheel of Fortune card. Here, one of the fates is using these scissors to cut this strand, this like cosmic weave. It's like it's not quite the string of fate, but that's what it symbolizes, like destiny and fated events, and these three are kind of controlling that. And this one has scissors in their hand, and I just noticed she's not actually cutting it, but that's how I saw it in my mind before I looked at the card closer. And what I feel is that you're really cutting ties with something and moving ahead with that Knight of Swords. lots of air energy. So embodying your element, which I find to be, we all work with all of the elements, but I think it's a good sign in a reading when your element comes up because you're really moving things forward. Princess of Swords. I mean, we benefit from working with all elements, and we do so at different times. Princess of Swords. This Princess of Swords, I feel like, has a plan up her sleeve, has a trick up her sleeve. And so maybe it's that later on, you will be moving through the energy of like actually taking action and cutting something out. And it doesn't feel like it's cutting out as in there's something dragging you down. It really doesn't. I still am feeling it's that there's just something else that you are more suited to do. It's like more your calling. And so you have to cut something else out in order to do it. You can't really do both long term. It's just not feasible. It's not sustainable. And it just doesn't work. They don't align. So you have to cut something out in order to pursue what it is you want to do as your vocation. And so, yeah, I think maybe at this time, you've got a plan up your sleeve, you got a trick up your sleeve. It might be you have a specific date in mind. I'm getting April for some of you or your birthday for others. So it could be very soon. It's like an end date. You maybe are like going to leave a job at this date. And of course, I think that you may or may not be giving proper notice. I really don't care. That's your choice. But it's that you have this date in mind, this plan in mind, and you're not telling other people. That's why it's a trick up your sleeve. It's nothing shady. It's just that you're keeping it to yourself, keeping your cards close to the chest. Because you feel divine inspired action with this Ace of Wands. You do. It's like the hand of God here. I really feel you're being like touched by the divine. There's something very powerful. Look at this image of the wand and the hand coming from the sky here. It's like, wow, I have chills for you. It's like you're being handpicked by God to do something, and insert whatever phrase you're comfortable with, spirit, the creator, the divine. You're being picked by the divine to do something. Like handpicked, you're anointed, you're chosen for it. And Aquarius, you are so tapped into the higher realms. I mean, it's funny too, because you're so logical on the ground, like in this 3D world. Some people might not recognize how high up you really go. And so for you, I think it's always beneficial when like whatever those higher experiences, ideas, connections are, translate well down to the real world. So like whatever it is you're pursuing for your passion, your vocation, there's also a practical element to it. So it's because you are fairly certain you're going to make very good money. You're certain that it's going to help people in a very concrete way. You already know that what you want to do is going to succeed. And so you like that higher and lower meet together. Because I don't know that you would do it if not. Like there's something practical, Ace of Pentacles, there's something practical and grounded about this as well. So, use that terminology to apply to your own life. And do let me know what it is you're doing. Ace of Pentacles, you're growing something. And what's interesting is that this card also has peacocks. And these peacocks are like birds of the ground, right? We see them, they're showing their feathers. But believe it or not, they also fly. So that's kind of like you, Aquarius. You're like coming through as this peacock right now. That's really funny. That if you just look away for a moment, you could fly away. And no one would expect that. That's sort of about that trick up your sleeve. That's really cool. There's something about the divine plan here with this Wheel of Fortune. The divine plan. I just heard intellectual. So remember those keywords that came through. Like I said, I'm just the messenger. So, but there's I'm getting intellectual with this Wheel of Fortune. This faded thing. There's a book I might recommend. I would recommend it to everyone, but it's coming through very, very strong in your reading. I'm going to do a series on it later this year. It's called The Astrology of Fate. So do look into that if you're interested in astrology, if that's your flavor. I think there could be very helpful information for you in it about the sign of Aquarius and also about your Mars placement I just got. That's just a channeled message. I was being drawn to look at the Courage card once more. And right here we see Strength, which indicates courage. You know, it's that Leo energy, the heart, the courage, that red and gold kind of feeling, valor, honor. And that is your opposite sign. And I always tell people that looking at your opposite sign can be one of the most beneficial things to you because you see what you could be lacking and also what you already possess inside. And it's just choosing to work with that energy. And of course you possess that courage and valor. You're Aquarius. You speak up and stand up for the greater good. Also, I just feel with this Strength card, the way she's closing the lion's mouth, I'm just getting a message about it that you're silencing the naysayers. Wow, this is a specific thing, but for example, it could be something like you're finding a way to put policy into action that other people have said is just a pipe dream. Like, that's a nice idea, but that could never work. It's too intellectual. It's too utopian. I can't get the actual word, but it's kind of like, it's a nice idea in theory, but it would never work on the ground. And you're silencing the naysayers with whatever it is you're doing because, like I said, Aquarius, your job in this lifetime, one of them is to map out and translate to the human public what it is that you see and how you see, because not all of us see like that. And that's one of your burdens and one of your blessings is trying to get that across. I'd say the only danger is in don't get too caught up when people don't catch on. Give it time and be patient because, you know, the rest of us are running a few years behind, right? Many others won't ever get it, but some will. And you just have to be patient and wait for the right time. Right time. Wheel of Fortune. Timing. 6 of Cups. Like I said, there was something about that nostalgic energy, whatever it is. Oh, if you have to move, you might be sad about leaving behind your home. You could be really sad about that. What I'm noticing though is that this female figure here, she has a red glove on and she's pointing down. And below us here are these 6 cups, one of which has spilled. And I just want to take a second to try to figure out what that is. Interesting. It's kind of like you're able to see what isn't working and point it out. That could be one of your strengths. You could see like the cog in the wheel that's broken and point it out. When we get some additional cards, I'll see if I can get more information for you about that. So I do want to move on. Before we get additional information from another deck, I want to pose one question for you. This was channeled for everyone in 2022. So just pause, take a moment, Aquarius. Before we go on, I want you to think about this question for 2022. Write it down in your journal. Take a second, just think about it, and then pause the video, come back, and we'll work with that energy that you bring into this conversation, and we'll get some more info. But I would like to ask you, where can I meet the universe halfway? Where can I meet the universe halfway? That's the job for you this year, Aquarius. So basically what I mean with that, or it was channeled to me, but I think what I've inferred it to be is, what steps can you take on the ground to prepare yourself to receive from the divine, right? So what steps can you take on the ground to prepare yourself to receive this blessing? It's meeting the universe halfway. Where can you do that? How can you do that in 2022? Okay. Any additional information for Aquarius? Oh, shoot. What have I done? I keep all of my cards upright and I've just mixed up my deck. That's really strange. That never happens, so there must be a reason for it. I'm just going to go with it, Aquarius, and I'll fix this afterwards. I don't read reversals unless they come out that way, and I'm very strongly guided to take them. But I'm just going to trust that that was supposed to happen, and we'll go with it. Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, 2022. Any cards that want to show themselves? Page of Wands and the Emperor. Maybe it's a big leap whatever you're getting into, whatever this Ace of Wands is in your life. Maybe it's a big leap. Like if it's, say it's the energy of a startup where it's 0 to 100 very quickly. It's something about the speed at which you progress, or your business progresses, or your skill, or your audience, your reach. It's kind of like, ooh, I just got chills. I just heard overnight success. And that was for a musician. It could be for anyone, but that's more specific. I don't like to give false hope, because the idea of overnight success is, something some of us strive for, but we'll never really have. But that's the phrase that I got. And it's maybe just the energy of that. The thing is, okay, this is very interesting. The idea of the overnight success, going back to the question, where can I meet the universe halfway? Do you really think that person just got from, sitting on their couch to playing a sold out stadium like overnight? Even if it looks that way, that is not the case. There is some luck to it. There's some divine intervention to it. Of course, there's some people that are just born with talent. But if you go back, you'll see that person worked really hard to get somewhere. And you'll see that they had, YouTube videos, or they played open mic nights, or whatever it is. It's just that energy that it looks to the outside world like it was overnight success. It's like someone's elected into office like that and they came out of nowhere. It's like that dark horse. Oh my gosh, you're the dark horse. That is brilliant, Aquarius. You're the dark horse. You're going to come out of there like that. That's all these are the 2 cards, and that's what you gave me. Oh my God, your energy is incredible. This is going to be a very good year for you. I can feel it. But quickly before I get into this Lovers card is in reverse. And as I said, I do not read reversals. I keep my deck completely upright. However, I'm being drawn to read this way. The Lovers indicates a choice, correct? To me, with it being in reverse, it's really saying to me that the gravity of the choice you need to make will change the rest of your life. And, no pressure, right? The gravity of whatever it is you need to make a decision about this year will change your life. it will change your life. It's like I'm feeling that underdog energy, that superstar energy. And to be frank, I'm being cut off, so I'm not going to continue with it, although I would love to because I really am enjoying this. I will just tell you that the choice that you need to make will affect the rest of your life, so choose wisely. Like I said, no pressure, and I am in no way qualified to give you advice. All I can tell you is what the cards say. You use that information as you see fit. But with this Page of Wands and the Emperor, that's how I got that overnight success energy. You know, you go from the Page to the Emperor like that. It's a huge blow up, whatever it is you're working in. Whatever it is you're doing, whatever you're putting your energy into. And you've got a plan for it. You have a plan for it. Excuse me, let me clarify. You have a plan for it. And it looks like the divine is going to meet you halfway. Okay, well, the sun, just quickly, the sun really being seen for what it is you do. And always, Aquarius, whatever you do is for the greater good. Even if it is just your art making, it's beautiful and inspiring. So it's always for the collective, whatever it is you do. If you're in a high vibed energy, which if you're listening to this and you're part of this energy, I'm feeling you are. So you deserve to be seen because of that. A lot of Leo coming through. So make sure to pay attention to when certain planets, planetary bodies, aspects come into your chart with Leo. You could use those times. You could use that as timing. Something about your opposite really embodying that outgoing royal energy could be very beneficial to you to get this project to the world for the greater good. Okay, Leo. Aquarius. That was really weird. I am going to clean this up. And to close out this 2022 overview reading, I'm going to get you one major arcana card. And, you know, whenever it is you find this, I'm glad you're here. But also come back in 6 months. See where you are in this energy. See if you need a refresher. How far have you progressed or moved along? And remember that progress is not linear. So just do come back and share your energy again. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node. If you have Aquarius and Leo in your chart, you're going to be a powerhouse energy this year. Just have to get that out there. Okay, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node. And you don't have to. That's just an extra little special sector of the population. Card for Aquarius. Thank you. The Wheel. There you go, Aquarius, the Wheel. What I'm feeling with this intuitively is that somehow, some way, you're going to be the definitive answer on something. Like you're going to become an expert on something somehow. And, whoa, wow, this is cool. Also, you're going to take down people who are speaking inappropriately. It's like they're misspeaking. Whatever it is you do, they're giving false information. Do you see the way this figure at the top is kind of taking down this other figure there? It's kind of like you will keep the information, the truth clear. It's hard to explain, but it's like you're once again, I'm getting that idea of silencing naysayers. You're gonna correcting misinformation. The Wheel. I'm going to read this to you because this deck has some very strange and interesting descriptions, and there will be a vocal activation in here for you. The Wheel. Destiny. Destiny turns under the impulses of the wheel. Ermanubi, the genius of goodness, grows while Typhon, the genius of evil, falls headlong. Change, opportunity, cyclicity, measurable time. Well, damn if all of those themes didn't come up for you in this reading, Aquarius. Let me tell you what. Let me know how that applies in your life, and do come back again soon. All right, take care, Aquarius. Bye.